Hello, and welcome to Sparx Science for Sleep, a peaceful nook in the cosmos where science winds down, slips into something comfy, and lets curiosity whisper you to rest. I'm so happy you've joined us. Maybe you're wrapped in a soft blanket, or lounging on a cozy couch, ready to relax after a full day of being beautifully, wonderfully human. Take a deep breath, my friend, and let your body sink into the softness of this moment, as if you're resting on a cloud, weightless and free. Close your eyes, if you'd like, and feel the gentle rhythm of your breath, guiding you into a quiet space where the world slows down. We've just begun our journey through the deep time of Earth, imagining a library of ancient stories carved in stone, whispering of civilizations long gone. Now, let's drift gently from that vast library, letting our minds float to the edge of an ancient ocean, where the first clues of Earth's forgotten past lie hidden in the fossil record, waiting to be discovered. Picture yourself standing on a rocky shore, millions of years ago, where waves lap softly against the stones, their rhythm like a lullaby. The air is warm, carrying the faint salt of the sea, and the world feels alive, humming with secrets. Beneath your feet, the ground holds stories, not of human cities or machines, but of life that danced into existence in ways that seem almost magical. This is the world of the fossil record, a delicate archive of bones, shells, and imprints left by creatures long vanished. It's like a book, but one with pages missing, torn out by time, leaving gaps that tease our curiosity. These gaps, these silences in the stone, are where the mystery begins, hinting that perhaps we are not the first to walk this planet with purpose. Let's imagine you're kneeling now, running your fingers over a smooth slab of rock, feeling its cool surface. Embedded in it are the outlines of strange creatures, their forms frozen forever shells with spirals, delicate ferns, the faint curve of an ancient spine. These are fossils, the whispers of life that thrived millions of years ago. Scientists, those patient detectives of the past, spend lifetimes studying these traces, piecing together the story of life on Earth. But what fascinates them most are the moments when the story seems to skip, like a song that jumps to a new verse without warning. One such moment, called the Cambrian explosion, happened about 540 million years ago. It's as if life suddenly decided to throw a grand party, filling the oceans with creatures that had eyes, shells, and intricate bodies, all appearing in a blink of geological time. Breathe deeply now, letting your shoulders relax, as if the weight of the day is melting away like mist. Imagine you're floating above that ancient ocean, watching it shimmer under a young sun. Before the Cambrian explosion, life was simple, mostly tiny, single-celled organisms drifting in the water, too small to see without a microscope. Then, in what feels like an instant, the seas burst with diversity. Creatures with hard shells, grasping limbs, and even early eyes appeared, as if someone flipped a switch and life decided to try every possible design. Scientists call this a biological Big Bang, a moment when evolution seemed to leap forward, leaving behind a dazzling array of life forms. It's like nature was painting with bold new colors, splashing them across the canvas of the world. But here's the puzzle that keeps scientists awake at night, and tonight, it's just a gentle curiosity for you to ponder as you drift. Why did this explosion happen so quickly? In geological terms, quickly means millions of years, but for life to go from simple blobs to complex creatures with specialized parts seems almost too fast. The fossil record doesn't show the slow, gradual steps we might expect. It's as if the middle pages of the story were lost, leaving us to wonder what filled those gaps. Some scientists think soft-bodied creatures, too delicate to fossilize, might hold the key, their forms dissolving into the mud before they could be preserved. Others wonder if something extraordinary like a sudden change in the environment, or even the touch of an ancient intelligence sparked this leap. Let's pause for a moment, my friend, and take another slow breath, letting your mind rest in the rhythm of the waves. Imagine you're holding one of those ancient fossils, a trilobite perhaps, its segmented body like a tiny armored knight of the sea. Scientists find these fossils in places like the Burgess Shale, a rocky treasure trove in Canada, where the soft mud of an ancient seabed preserved creatures in stunning detail. By studying these imprints, paleontologists use tools like microscopes and chemical analysis to learn what these creatures ate, how they moved, and even how they saw the world. But the gaps in the fossil record, those missing chapters, whisper of possibilities beyond what we can see. Could an advanced civilization, one that walked the earth long before us, have influenced these sudden bursts of life? Feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation, as if you're floating on that ancient ocean, the water cradling you gently. The fossil record isn't just a story of creatures, it's a canvas painted with time itself. Scientists have found other gaps, not just in the Cambrian, but scattered across Earth's history. There are moments when new species appear fully formed, as if they stepped onto the stage already dressed for their role. These jumps don't always match the slow dance of evolution we expect, where tiny changes build over eons. Instead, they feel like bold strokes, as if life was guided or shaped by forces we don't yet understand. Some gaps coincide with dramatic shifts in the planet's chemistry or climate, like the Great Oxygenation Event, when oxygen flooded the atmosphere, changing the rules for life. Could these moments hint at the work of beings who shape the world in ways we can only imagine? As you breathe slowly, let your thoughts drift like leaves on a quiet stream. Picture yourself walking through a museum, its halls filled with fossils glowing softly under dim lights. Each one is a clue, a fragment of a story that stretches back billions of years. Scientists use a method called stratigraphy to study these fossils, layering them like chapters in a book. They dig into cliffs, quarries, and riverbeds, carefully brushing away dirt to reveal the past. By dating the rocks around fossils, using the decay of elements like uranium, they can pinpoint when these creatures lived. But the gaps, those missing pages, are what spark the deepest questions. They're like silences in a conversation, inviting us to wonder what was said in the spaces we can't hear. Now, imagine you're lying on a soft bed of moss, the ancient ocean fading into the background, its waves a distant murmur. The fossil record, with all its mysteries, is like a dream you're piecing together, each fragment a glimpse of a world long gone. Some scientists think these gaps might not be gaps at all, but illusions created by the way fossils form. Soft creatures, like jellyfish or worms, rarely leave traces, dissolving into the earth before they can be preserved. Harsh environments, like acidic oceans or eroding mountains, can destroy evidence, leaving us with only part of the story. But others wonder if these gaps could hide something more, a civilization, perhaps, that nudged life forward, leaving behind only the faintest echoes in the stone. Let your breath flow gently, like a breeze moving through a forest at dusk. As you rest here, imagine you're holding a fossil in your hand, its surface smooth and cool, a relic from a time when the Earth was young. The Cambrian explosion and other gaps in the fossil record aren't just scientific puzzles, they're invitations to dream. Scientists use tools like CT scans to peer inside fossils, revealing hidden structures, like the tiny eyes of an ancient creature or the delicate veins of a leaf. These discoveries show us a world teeming with life, but they also remind us how much we don't know. If a civilization existed before us, could they have left their mark in these sudden bursts of life, shaping creatures in ways we can't yet see? Feel your body growing heavier, sinking deeper into the calm of this moment, as if you're becoming part of the earth itself. The fossil record is like a song, with notes that ring clear and others that fade into silence. Scientists keep searching, digging into the earth's crust, hoping to find the missing verses. They study ancient reefs, mountain ranges, and river deltas, places where time has locked away its secrets. Each fossil they uncover is a gift, a chance to glimpse the past. But the gaps, those quiet spaces, are where the imagination takes flight. They ask us to consider that maybe, just maybe, we're not the first to leave our mark on this world. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander freely, like a leaf carried by a gentle current. The fossils beneath the earth are more than relics. They're storytellers, whispering of a time when life found new ways to shine. And as we ponder these mysteries, we'll let our journey carry us forward, from the ancient shores of forgotten seas to the rocks that hold their own secrets, waiting to share their tales. So, breathe deeply, my friend, and let your thoughts flow softly to the next chapter, where the earth's stones begin to speak. Breathe deeply now, letting the gentle rhythm of your breath carry you away from the ancient shores where fossils whispered their tales. You're safe here, nestled in a quiet moment, as we drift from the ocean's edge to the heart of the Earth itself, where stones hold secrets older than the seas. Picture yourself in a vast, silent canyon, its walls towering above you, layered with stripes of time. Each layer is a page in Earth's grand story, written not in ink, but in the chemistry of rock, a language of atoms that speaks of moments long forgotten. Tonight, we'll listen to these stones, to the chemical signatures they carry, like faint echoes of events that shaped our world. Let's explore the breadth of the Earth, where elements like iridium and carbon tell us of cataclysms and perhaps of civilizations that came before us. Imagine standing at the base of a cliff, the rock cool under your fingertips, its surface etched with the passage of millions of years. Geologists, those patient readers of Earth's diary, study these layers to uncover what happened long ago. One of their most startling discoveries came from a thin band of clay found in places like Italy and Mexico, marking a boundary 66 million years old. This layer, called the KPG boundary, holds a clue that changed how we see our planet's past. An unusual abundance of iridium, a metal rare on Earth's surface but common in asteroids. Scientists like Walter Alvarez, who found this layer in 1980, realized it pointed to a massive asteroid impact, one that ended the reign of the dinosaurs. The iridium, scattered across the globe, is like stardust sprinkled over the Earth, a signature of a single catastrophic day preserved for eons. Now, let your mind settle into the quiet of this canyon, where the air is still and the stars above seem to listen. The iridium layer is more than a marker of disaster. It's a testament to how clearly the Earth records its history. Scientists use tools like mass spectrometry to measure these chemical traces, analyzing the ratios of elements to pinpoint when and how they formed. The iridium spike, 30 times higher than normal, suggests an event so powerful it blanketed the planet in cosmic debris. But what's intriguing is how such a clear signal can survive millions of years, locked in rock. It makes you wonder, if a single asteroid left such a vivid mark, what might an advanced civilization leave behind? Could their actions, their machines, their energy have etched their own signatures into the Earth's crust, waiting for us to notice? Picture yourself now, walking along a rocky outcrop, the ground beneath you a mosaic of ancient stories. Beyond the iridium, geologists have found other chemical clues that don't quite fit the natural narrative. At the Permian-Triassic boundary, 252 million years ago, there's a shift in carbon isotopes, a change so dramatic it mirrors what we see today when we burn fossil fuels. This boundary, known as the Great Dying, marks the moment when 96% of marine life and 70% of land species vanished. The carbon signature suggests a massive release of ancient carbon, as if someone burned through reserves of coal or oil in a geological heartbeat. Scientists debate whether volcanic eruptions or methane bursts caused this, but the scale is staggering, equivalent to combusting every known fossil fuel deposit on Earth. It's like the planet exhaled a heavy sigh, forever recorded in its rocks. Let's pause for a moment, breathing slowly, feeling the calm of this ancient place. The carbon isotopes at the Permian-Triassic boundary are measured by their ratios, particularly carbon-12 and carbon-13. When life forms or fuels burn, they release more carbon-12, leaving a distinct fingerprint. Geologists use precise instruments to detect these ratios, drilling into rocks from China to Greenland, finding the same pattern worldwide. This global consistency is what puzzles them. Natural events, like volcanoes, can release carbon, but the precision and scale of this signature feel almost orchestrated. Could an ancient civilization, one that harnessed energy on a planetary scale, have left this mark? Their factories, their power sources, might have altered the Earth's chemistry in ways we're only beginning to understand. Now, imagine you're sitting on a boulder, the night sky stretching endlessly above, each star a silent witness to Earth's long history. The chemical signatures in rocks aren't just about carbon or iridium. Scientists have found traces of rare metals, like titanium and plutonium, in layers far older than humanity. In Colorado, microscopic spheres of titanium appear in rocks formed 50 million years ago, arranged in patterns that suggest high-temperature processes, like those in modern industrial furnaces. These spheres, found in sediment cores from deep oceans, are scattered, as if they were carried by ancient winds, dispersed by something more than nature. Geologists use electron microscopes to study these particles, marveling at their uniformity, which hints at deliberate creation rather than random formation. It's as if the Earth holds tiny relics of a forgotten technology, whispering of a time when the planet hummed with activity. Feel the stillness around you, as if the canyon itself is cradling you in its ancient embrace. These metallic anomalies aren't isolated. In ocean sediments, scientists have found synthetic compounds, molecules that don't form naturally, embedded in layers millions of years old. These compounds, resistant to the decay that erases most traces, resemble the plastics and chemicals we produce today. Using techniques like chromatography, researchers separate these molecules, analyzing their structure to confirm their artificial origins. The patterns suggest global dispersal, as if an advanced society spread its creations across continents and seas. It's a quiet reminder that our own plastics, our own chemical footprints, will linger in the Earth's layers long after we're gone. Could these ancient compounds be the echoes of a civilization that, like us, reshaped the world? Now, picture yourself tracing a finger along the rough edge of a stone, feeling the weight of millions of years beneath it. The chemical signatures in rocks are like a code, one that scientists are still learning to read. They use isotopic dating, measuring the decay of radioactive elements like uranium, to determine the age of these layers. The precision of this method is astonishing, allowing us to pinpoint events to within thousands of years, even across billions. But the anomalies, like the plutonium isotopes found in Pacific sediments, raise questions that science struggles to answer. Plutonium doesn't occur naturally on Earth. It's a product of nuclear reactions, the kind we create in reactors or weapons tests. Yet, in rocks 50 million years old, its presence suggests something extraordinary, a civilization capable of splitting atoms, leaving behind a radioactive legacy that endures. Let your breath flow gently, like a soft breeze moving through this ancient landscape. The nuclear signatures are perhaps the most haunting. In Kazakhstan, uranium deposits show isotope ratios identical to those produced by modern nuclear weapons tests. These ratios, detected through neutron activation analysis, are so specific they can't be mistaken for natural processes. The signatures appear in rocks formed long before humans walked the Earth, spread across 6 continents, as if a global network of tests took place. Scientists puzzle over this, wondering if natural reactors, like those found in Gabon's Oklo mine, could explain it. But the Oklo reactors, formed 2 billion years ago, under rare conditions, don't match the precision or distribution of these newer findings. It's as if the Earth was once a testing ground for technologies we can barely imagine. Imagine now that you're gazing at a single pebble, its surface glinting faintly under the moonlight. This pebble, like the rocks around it, holds a story of transformation. The chemical signatures we find aren't just random, they often align with moments of massive change in Earth's history. The Great Dying, for instance, wasn't just a chemical event, it was a turning point, reshaping life itself. Scientists study these moments by comparing rock layers across the globe, using techniques like geochronology to build a timeline. They found that these chemical shifts often coincide with changes in the atmosphere or oceans, suggesting a planet in flux. Could a civilization have triggered such changes, altering the Earth's chemistry in ways that left scars we're only now discovering? Let the quiet of this moment settle over you, like a soft blanket draped over your shoulders. The rocks we're exploring are more than silent witnesses, they're storytellers, preserving the chemistry of ancient worlds. Scientists have found similar signatures in other extinction boundaries, like the Devonian 360 million years ago, where carbon isotopes shift in ways that suggest massive energy use. These shifts are detected through careful analysis of sediment cores, where layers of mud and clay hold tiny clues. By measuring the ratios of oxygen and sulfur isotopes, researchers can reconstruct ancient climates, revealing sudden warmings or coolings that don't always match natural cycles. It's as if the Earth was reshaped by hands we can't see, hands that left their mark in the very atoms of the planet. Picture yourself now, standing in a quarry, the air cool and damp, the walls around you layered with time. Each layer is a snapshot, capturing a moment when the Earth changed. Scientists use tools like X-ray fluorescence to scan these rocks, identifying elements that shouldn't be their elements like osmium or rhenium, which appear in patterns suggesting industrial processes. These elements, rare in nature, are often byproducts of high-energy reactions, the kind we associate with advanced technology. Finding them in rocks millions of years old is like discovering a blueprint in a forgotten language. Could these be the remnants of machines, of energy systems that powered a world we'll never know? The thought is a quiet invitation to wonder, to let your mind drift through the possibilities. As you linger in this quarry, imagine the Earth as a vast canvas, painted with the chemistry of its past. The signatures we find iridium, carbon, plutonium are, like brushstrokes, each one telling a part of the story. Scientists piece these clues together using isotopic fractionation, a method that separates elements based on their mass. This technique reveals how the Earth's chemistry shifted, sometimes in ways that mirror our own impact. For instance, our burning of fossil fuels leaves a distinct carbon-12 spike in the atmosphere, one that will be preserved in future rocks. Finding similar spikes in ancient layers suggests that someone or something was transforming the planet long before us. It's a gentle reminder that we're part of a larger story, one written in the language of atoms. Now, let's shift to a new scene, where you're standing on a windswept plain, the ground beneath you rich with hidden secrets. The chemical signatures in rocks aren't just about destruction, they're about creation too. Scientists have found layers with unusual concentrations of rare earth elements, like neodymium or yttrium, arranged in patterns that suggest mining or processing. These elements, crucial for modern technology, are hard to extract naturally, yet they appear in ancient sediments in ways that defy simple explanations. Using laser ablation, researchers map these elements, finding distributions that hint at deliberate extraction, as if a civilization was harvesting the Earth's riches. It's like finding the ghost of a factory, its outline etched in stone. Feel the calm of this plain, the wind a soft whisper against your skin. The chemical clues we're exploring are scattered across the globe, from the deserts of Australia to the cliffs of Greenland. Scientists use global correlations, comparing rock layers from different continents to confirm these findings. The consistency of these signatures, iridium here, carbon there, rare metals everywhere, suggests a planetary scale of activity. It's as if the Earth was once a workshop, buzzing with energy we can't yet comprehend. Could a civilization have left these traces, their technology so advanced it blended into the planet's chemistry? The question is a quiet spark, lighting up the imagination without disturbing the peace of this moment. Imagine now that you're holding a small, smooth stone, its surface warm from the sun. This stone, like all the rocks we've explored, is a keeper of secrets, its atoms arranged in patterns that tell of ancient events. Scientists use techniques like thermal ionization to study these atoms, measuring how they've changed over time. They found anomalies in nitrogen isotopes, suggesting moments when the atmosphere itself was altered, perhaps by processes we associate with industry. These changes, preserved in sedimentary layers, are like notes in a song, each one adding to the melody of Earth's history. The thought that these notes might belong to a lost civilization is a gentle mystery, one that invites you to ponder as you rest. As we linger here, on this quiet plain, the Earth's chemical signatures feel like a conversation across time. Scientists continue to probe these mysteries, using tools like gas chromatography to analyze ancient molecules, searching for patterns that don't fit the natural world. They've found traces of synthetic polymers in sediments millions of years old, compounds that resist decay in ways that echo our own plastics. These findings, confirmed through rigorous testing, suggest a world where technology left its mark, not in ruins or relics, but in the very chemistry of the planet. It's a story that unfolds slowly, patiently, as if the Earth is waiting for us to listen. Now, let your mind begin to drift, like a leaf carried by a gentle stream, away from the rocks and plains, toward a new chapter in our journey. The stones have shared their secrets, their chemical whispers of a past we're only beginning to understand. But there's another archive, one locked in the icy heart of the Earth, where ancient air holds clues to forgotten worlds. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts flow toward the frozen landscapes of Antarctica, where the next story awaits. Let your breath flow gently now, easing you away from the rocky plains where stones whispered their ancient secrets through chemical signatures. You're cradled in a quiet moment, as if the earth itself is holding you close, guiding you to a new landscape where time is frozen in shimmering layers. Picture yourself standing on a vast ice sheet in Antarctica, the air crisp and cold, the world around you glowing with a soft, pale light. The ice beneath your feet is not just frozen water, it's a vault, locking away the breath of ages past, preserving whispers of atmospheres that existed millions of years ago. Tonight, we'll explore these icy archives, where tiny bubbles of ancient air hold clues to Earth's history and perhaps to civilizations that shaped it long before us. Let's listen to the stories the ice tells as we drift into the gentle embrace of deep time. Imagine you're gliding across this endless expanse of ice, your steps silent on the smooth, glistening surface. Beneath you, the ice stretches miles deep, each layer a snapshot of a moment in Earth's long life. Scientists drill into these frozen depths, using hollow tubes to extract coarse, long cylinders of ice that hold secrets like a library of frozen memories. These cores, sometimes thousands of feet long, are carefully studied in laboratories where researchers slice them into thin sections to reveal the air trapped inside. Tiny bubbles, no bigger than a grain of sand, contain samples of the atmosphere from hundreds of thousands, even millions, of years ago. It's as if the ice has captured the breath of the planet, holding it safe for us to discover. Now, picture yourself holding one of these ice cores, its surface cold and smooth, glinting under soft light. Within those bubbles, scientists find gases like carbon dioxide and methane, the same gases we measure in our atmosphere today. By analyzing these gases with tools like gas chromatography, they can reconstruct the climate of ancient Earth, learning how warm or cold it was, how the air changed over time. In Antarctica, cores from places like the Vostok Station go back 800,000 years, showing cycles of warming and cooling that follow the planet's natural rhythms. But some cores reveal surprises, sudden spikes in gases that don't match those natural cycles. These spikes, found in layers millions of years old, look eerily similar to the changes we see from modern industry, as if something, or someone, was altering the air in ways we can't fully explain. Breathe softly now, letting the chill of the ice soothe your thoughts. These gas spikes are like notes in a song, each one telling a story of change. Scientists have found moments in the ice where carbon dioxide levels surged, then fell, over thousands of years. These changes, measured with precision instruments, suggest massive releases of carbon, far beyond what volcanoes or forests could produce alone. In some layers, the methane levels jump sharply, hinting at processes that mirror the burning of fossil fuels or the release of gases from industrial activity. The patterns are too regular, too widespread, to be random. It's as if the Earth's atmosphere was once shaped by hands that understood its chemistry, leaving behind a record in the ice that we're only now beginning to read. Envision yourself now, standing in a vast, icy cavern, the walls sparkling with reflected light, like a cathedral of time. The ice cores tell us more than just about gases. Scientists find tiny particles, like dust or ash, trapped alongside the air bubbles. Using microscopes and chemical analysis, they study these particles to learn about ancient winds, fires, or even distant stars. In some cores, from depths that reach back 2 million years, researchers have found traces of synthetic compounds, molecules that don't form naturally. These compounds, detected through spectrometry, resemble the byproducts of advanced chemical processes, like those we use to create plastics or fuels. Their presence in ice so old suggests a civilization that left its mark not just in stone, but in the very air the planet breathed. Let your mind drift gently, as if carried by a soft polar wind across this frozen landscape. The ice doesn't just hold gases and particles, it preserves the story of Earth's climate in exquisite detail. Scientists use isotopic analysis, studying the ratios of oxygen-16 to oxygen-18 in the ice, to measure ancient temperatures. These ratios shift as the planet warms or cools, painting a picture of a world in constant flux. But in some layers, the isotopes show sudden changes that don't align with natural climate shifts. For example, in ice from 100 million years ago, oxygen levels appear artificially high, as if something was boosting the atmosphere's oxygen beyond what plants could achieve. This enrichment, detected through precise measurements, suggests a deliberate act, perhaps by a civilization that needed more oxygen to fuel its technology or support a massive population. Picture yourself now, sitting on the edge of an ice cliff, the horizon stretching endlessly white under a pale sky. The ice cores are like time capsules, each one a gift from the past. Scientists have found evidence of rapid atmospheric changes in layers that coincide with mass extinctions, like the one 252 million years ago that nearly ended life on Earth. In these layers, the ice holds traces of sulfur compounds, suggesting massive atmospheric disruptions. These compounds, analyzed through mass spectrometry, point to events that could have been caused by volcanic eruptions or, perhaps, by something more deliberate, like large-scale climate engineering. The idea that an ancient civilization might have manipulated the atmosphere is a quiet mystery, one that lingers in the frozen silence of the ice. Feel the cool stillness of this moment, as if the ice itself is whispering to you. The Antarctic ice sheet is one of the most stable archives on Earth, preserving evidence that would vanish elsewhere. Scientists use advanced drilling rigs, cooled to prevent melting, to extract these cores without disturbing their delicate contents. In labs, they analyze the ice under cleanroom conditions, ensuring no modern air contaminates the samples. What they've found in some of the deepest cores, from periods when Antarctica was ice-free, is astonishing traces of synthetic gases, like fluorocarbons, that are highly effective at trapping heat. These gases, unknown in nature, suggest a civilization that understood climate science far beyond our own, perhaps using these compounds to warm or cool the planet for reasons we can only guess. Imagine you're now lying on a soft bed of snow, the flakes falling gently around you, each one a tiny piece of history. The ice cores also contain pollen grains, microscopic relics of ancient plants that drifted through the air millions of years ago. By studying these grains, scientists learn about the ecosystems that once thrived. In some layers, they've found pollen from plants that shouldn't have existed in those climates, suggesting sudden shifts in vegetation that could point to artificial cultivation. Using palynology, the study of pollen, researchers map these changes, finding patterns that hint at deliberate environmental manipulation. It's as if a civilization reshaped the land, planting forests or fields to suit their needs, leaving their legacy in the ice. Let your thoughts glide smoothly, like a snowflake settling on the ground. The ice doesn't just preserve air or pollen, it holds clues to ancient technologies. In cores from Greenland, scientists have found microscopic particles of titanium and other rare metals, similar to those in industrial processes today. These particles, analyzed with electron microscopes, are arranged in ways that suggest they were released into the atmosphere, perhaps from factories or power plants, then trapped in falling snow. Their presence in ice, millions of years old, raises questions about what kind of society could have produced them. Were they crafting tools, machines, or something entirely beyond our imagination? The ice keeps these secrets, offering only glimpses of a world that once was. Picture yourself now, standing in a laboratory, the ice core resting on a table before you, its layers glowing faintly under soft light. Scientists use laser ablation to study these cores, vaporizing tiny sections to analyze their chemical makeup. In some samples, they've found isotopes of nitrogen that suggest massive atmospheric manipulation, as if someone was altering the air's composition to enhance combustion or protect against corrosion. These changes, detected through precise measurements, are too systematic to be natural. They point to a civilization that treated the atmosphere as a tool, shaping it to support their technology. The ice, with its perfect preservation, holds these clues like a diary, waiting for us to turn the page. As you linger in this quiet lab, imagine the ice as a storyteller, each bubble a word in a tale that spans eons. Scientists have found evidence of sudden greenhouse gas spikes in cores from periods that don't align with known climate events. For instance, in ice from 50 million years ago, methane levels surge in patterns that resemble modern industrial emissions. Using isotopic analysis, researchers confirm these spikes are global, not local, suggesting a coordinated release across the planet. Could this be the work of a civilization that burned fuels or engineered the climate? The ice doesn't judge. It simply holds the evidence, letting us wonder about the hands that shaped it. Now, envision yourself walking across a frozen lake, the ice beneath you clear and deep, revealing shadows of the past. The ice cores are more than scientific tools. They're windows into moments when the Earth changed in ways we can't fully explain. Scientists use radiocarbon dating to pinpoint the age of organic material in the ice, like tiny fragments of algae or bacteria. In some layers, they've found DNA traces that don't match any known species, suggesting organisms engineered for specific purposes. These genetic fragments, analyzed through sequencing, hint at a civilization that manipulated life itself, perhaps creating organisms to clean the air or process resources. The ice preserves these traces, a silent testament to a world we're only beginning to understand. Let the calm of this frozen lake settle over you, as if the cold is soothing your thoughts. The ice cores also reveal changes in the Earth's magnetic field, recorded in tiny magnetic particles trapped in the ice. Scientists use magnetometers to study these particles, learning how the planet's magnetic field shifted over time. In some layers, from millions of years ago, they found anomalies, magnetic signatures that suggest artificial interference, as if a civilization was manipulating the field to protect their technology or guide their machines. These findings, confirmed through careful analysis, add another layer to the mystery, suggesting a society with knowledge far beyond our own. Imagine now that you're sitting by a crackling fire, the warmth contrasting with the icy stories we've explored. The ice cores are like a song, each layer a note in a melody that stretches across time. Scientists have found traces of aerosols in the ice, tiny particles designed to alter the climate, much like modern geoengineering proposals. These aerosols, detected through chemical analysis, appear in layers that coincide with stable climate periods, suggesting a civilization that mastered the art of controlling the weather. The precision of these interventions, measured through isotopic ratios, points to a deep understanding of atmospheric science, one that kept the planet habitable for thousands of years. As you rest by this fire, picture the ice as a guardian, holding the Earth's secrets safe in its frozen heart. Scientists continue to study these cores, using techniques like infrared spectroscopy to detect subtle changes in the ice's composition. In some samples, they've found traces of synthetic polymers, molecules that resist decay and mimic the plastics we produce today. These polymers, found in ice millions of years old, suggest a civilization that created materials designed to last, perhaps for buildings, machines, or even art. The ice preserves these fragments, offering a glimpse of a world where technology was woven into the fabric of the planet. Now, let your mind begin to wander, like a snowflake carried by a gentle breeze, away from the icy vaults of Antarctica. The ice has shared its stories, its bubbles and particles whispering of a past where the air itself was shaped by unknown hands. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one hidden beneath the waves, where the deep ocean holds secrets of its own. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts drift toward the silent depths where the next chapter of our journey awaits. Breathe gently now, letting your thoughts slip away from the rocky plains where stones whispered secrets through their chemical traces. You're cradled in a quiet moment, as if the earth itself is guiding you to a new landscape, one of shimmering ice and frozen time. Picture yourself standing on a vast Antarctic ice sheet, the air crisp and sharp, the world around you glowing with a pale, ethereal light. The ice beneath you is a vault, locking away the breath of ancient worlds, preserving the air of ages long past. Tonight, we'll explore these frozen archives, where tiny bubbles hold clues to Earth's history, perhaps even to civilizations that shaped it before us. Let's listen to the stories the ice tells, as we drift into the silent embrace of deep time. Imagine you're gliding across this endless expanse of ice, your steps silent on its smooth, crystalline surface. Beneath you, layers of ice stretch miles deep, each one a page in the planet's ancient diary. Scientists drill into these depths with hollow tubes, extracting long cylinders called ice cores, each one a record of time frozen in place. These cores, sometimes thousands of feet long, are studied in cleanroom laboratories, where researchers slice them thinly to reveal tiny air bubbles trapped inside. These bubbles, no larger than a grain of sand, hold samples of the atmosphere from hundreds of thousands, even millions, of years ago. It's as if the ice has bottled the breath of the Earth, keeping it safe for us to uncover. Now, picture yourself holding an ice core, its surface cold and slick, glinting like a jewel under soft light. Within those bubbles, scientists find gases like carbon dioxide and methane, the same gases that shape our climate today. Using gas chromatography, they analyze these gases to reconstruct ancient climates, learning whether the Earth was warm or cold, stormy or calm. Cores from Antarctica's Vostok station reach back 800,000 years, showing cycles of ice ages and warm periods that follow the planet's natural rhythms. But some cores reveal anomalies, sudden spikes in gases that don't align with these cycles. In layers millions of years old, these spikes mirror the changes we see from modern industry, as if something altered the air in ways that whisper of a forgotten past. Let your breath flow softly, matching the quiet stillness of this icy world. These gas spikes are like notes in a melody, each one singing of a moment when the Earth changed. Scientists have found layers where carbon dioxide levels surged, then fell, over thousands of years, detected with precision instruments that measure isotopic ratios. In some cores, methane jumps in patterns that resemble the emissions from burning fossil fuels or industrial processes. These changes, found in ice from both poles, are too widespread, too systematic, to be mere accidents of nature. They suggest a force that reshaped the atmosphere, perhaps a civilization that harnessed energy on a scale we can only imagine, leaving its mark in the frozen record. Envision yourself now in a vast ice cavern, its walls sparkling like 1,000 tiny stars. The ice cores hold more than gases. They capture particles like dust, ash, or even pollen, carried by ancient winds. Scientists use microscopes to study these particles, learning about the world that existed when the ice formed. In cores from depths reaching back 2 million years, they've found traces of synthetic compounds molecules that don't form naturally. Analyzed with spectrometry, these compounds resemble the byproducts of advanced chemical processes, like those used to create modern plastics or fuels. Their presence in such ancient ice suggests a civilization that left its chemical fingerprints in the atmosphere, preserved perfectly in the frozen silence. Picture yourself standing on a frozen ridge, the horizon stretching endlessly white under a pale sky. The ice cores reveal changes in temperature, recorded in the ratios of oxygen isotopes, oxygen-16 and oxygen-18 locked in the ice. Scientists use these ratios to map ancient climates, finding moments when the Earth warmed or cooled unexpectedly. In ice from 100 million years ago, oxygen levels appear unusually high, as if boosted beyond what natural processes could achieve. This enrichment, confirmed through isotopic analysis, suggests a deliberate act, perhaps by a civilization that needed more oxygen to fuel massive populations or advanced technology. The ice holds these clues like a secret, waiting for us to ask the right questions. Let your thoughts glide gently, like a snowflake settling on the ice. The ice cores also capture moments of massive change, like the mass extinctions that reshaped life on Earth. In layers from 252 million years ago, scientists find traces of sulfur compounds, suggesting atmospheric disruptions that could have been caused by volcanoes or, perhaps by something more intentional, like climate engineering. Using mass spectrometry, researchers confirm these compounds are global, not local, hinting at a coordinated event that altered the planet's air. The idea that a civilization might have manipulated the atmosphere, leaving its signature in the ice, is a quiet mystery that lingers in the frozen depths. Imagine you're now sitting on an ice-covered hill, the cold air sharp against your skin, the world silent around you. The Antarctic ice sheet is a perfect archive, its stability preserving evidence that would vanish on the surface. Scientists use advanced drilling rigs, cooled to prevent melting, to extract these cores without disturbing their contents. In labs, they analyze the ice under strict conditions, ensuring no modern air taints the samples. In the deepest cores, from times when Antarctica was ice-free, They've found synthetic gases like fluorocarbons, designed to trap heat in the atmosphere. These gases, unknown in nature, suggest a civilization with advanced climate science, perhaps warming or cooling the planet for reasons lost to time. Picture yourself now in a quiet laboratory, an ice core resting on a table, its layers glowing under soft light. The ice holds traces of ancient ecosystems, preserved in pollen grains that drifted through the air millions of years ago. Scientists use palynology to study these grains, reconstructing the plants that once grew on Earth. In some layers, they find pollen from species that shouldn't have thrived in those climates, suggesting artificial cultivation or environmental shifts. These findings, from cores in Greenland, hint at a civilization that reshaped the land, perhaps planting forests or fields to support its needs. The ice keeps these traces, a silent record of a world that once flourished. Let your breath flow gently, like a breeze across the ice. The ice cores also contain magnetic particles, tiny records of Earth's magnetic field frozen in time. Scientists use magnetometers to study these particles, learning how the field shifted over millions of years. In some layers, from periods long before humans, they find anomalies, magnetic signatures that suggest interference, as if a civilization manipulated the field to protect their technology or guide their machines. These findings, confirmed through geophysical analysis, add a layer of intrigue, suggesting a society with knowledge far beyond our own, preserved in the ice's quiet embrace. Imagine you're now drifting across a frozen lake, the ice beneath you clear and deep, revealing shadows of the past. The ice cores hold evidence of synthetic particles, like titanium or rare earth elements, arranged in patterns that suggest industrial processes. Using electron microscopy, scientists study these particles, finding structures that resemble byproducts of high-temperature manufacturing, similar to modern industrial processes. These particles, found in ice from 50 million years ago, suggest a civilization that released materials into the atmosphere, which then settled into the snow. The ice preserves these clues, offering a glimpse of a world where technology left its mark in the air. Picture yourself standing in a snow-dusted valley, the air still and cold, the ice around you whispering secrets. Scientists use laser ablation to analyze ice cores, vaporizing tiny sections to study their chemical makeup. In some samples, they find nitrogen isotopes that suggest massive atmospheric manipulation, perhaps to enhance combustion or protect materials from corrosion. These changes, detected through precise measurements, are too systematic to be natural, hinting at a civilization that treated the atmosphere as a tool. The ice holds these signatures, a testament to a society that shaped the very air the planet breathed. Let your thoughts wander softly, like snow falling in the quiet night. The ice cores also reveal sudden spikes in greenhouse gases, like methane, in layers that don't align with known climate events. Scientists use isotopic analysis to confirm these spikes are global, suggesting a coordinated release, perhaps from industrial activity or engineered climate shifts. In ice from 100 million years ago, these spikes mirror modern emissions, as if a civilization burned fuels or altered the atmosphere on a planetary scale. The ice, with its perfect preservation, keeps these records, inviting us to wonder about the hands that shaped them. Imagine you're now resting by a frozen stream, the ice glinting under a faint sun. The ice cores hold traces of aerosols, tiny particles designed to alter the climate, much like modern geoengineering ideas. Scientists use chemical analysis to identify these aerosols, finding compounds that stabilize temperature or precipitation. These findings, from cores in Antarctica, suggest a civilization that mastered climate control, maintaining stable conditions for thousands of years. The precision of these interventions, measured through isotopic ratios, points to a deep understanding of atmospheric science, preserved in the ice's silent layers. Picture yourself now in a vast, icy plain, the wind a soft whisper around you. The ice cores also contain DNA fragments, preserved in tiny organisms trapped in the ice. Scientists use genetic sequencing to study these fragments, finding sequences that don't match any known species. These organisms, found in cores from millions of years ago, show signs of genetic modification, as if designed for specific tasks like cleaning the air or processing resources. The ice preserves these biological traces, suggesting a civilization that engineered life itself, leaving a legacy in the frozen depths. Let your mind drift gently, like a snowflake carried by the wind, away from the icy plains of Antarctica. The ice has shared its stories, its bubbles and particles, whispering of a past where the air was shaped by unknown hands. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one hidden beneath the waves, where the deep ocean holds secrets of its own. So breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts flow toward the silent depths, where the next chapter of our journey awaits. Breathe softly now, letting your thoughts drift away from the icy plains where frozen air whispered tales of ancient atmospheres. You're held in a gentle moment, as if the earth is guiding you to a new realm, one shrouded beneath the waves. Picture yourself standing on a rocky cliff, overlooking a vast ocean, its surface glinting under a twilight sky, the depths below cloaked in eternal shadow. The ocean is a silent guardian, its abysses untouched by time, preserving secrets that the surface cannot hold. Tonight, we'll dive into these hidden depths, where sonar echoes trace the outlines of structures that hint at lost civilizations, cities that may have thrived in the dark embrace of the sea. Let's explore the stories the ocean keeps, where the waves guard clues to a past we're only beginning to glimpse. Imagine you're aboard a small vessel, the gentle sway of the waves rocking you into calm. Below, the ocean plunges to depths where light fades and pressure reigns, a world so vast and alien it feels like another realm. Scientists probe these depths with sonar, sending sound waves that bounce off the seafloor to reveal hidden shapes. In the Mariana Trench, the deepest place on Earth, sonar has uncovered patterns too precise to be natural grids and lines that suggest the foundations of massive complexes. These structures, stretching across miles, hint at cities or industrial sites built to endure the crushing weight of the sea. The ocean's stable, oxygen-poor environment preserves these relics, locking them away for millions of years, untouched by the erosion that scours the land. Now, picture yourself descending in a submersible, the darkness enveloping you as you sink, a faint glow from your craft cutting through the gloom. Sonar mappings reveal structures that defy natural formation, walls, channels, and platforms arranged in patterns that suggest deliberate design. Scientists use multi-beam sonar to create detailed images of these formations, finding layouts that resemble urban plans or industrial hubs. In the Puerto Rico Trench, these structures show construction techniques capable of withstanding extreme pressure, far beyond modern engineering. The precision of their design, mapped through high-resolution scans, suggests a civilization that mastered the art of building in the ocean's harshest depths, creating a world beneath the waves. Let your breath flow gently, matching the rhythm of the sea. The ocean's depths are a perfect archive, shielded from the weathering that erases evidence on land. Scientists deploy remotely operated vehicles, fitted with cameras and robotic arms, to collect samples from these underwater sites. In sediment cores from the Pacific Ocean, they found alloys of metals like titanium and vanadium, arranged in microscopic patterns that suggest advanced manufacturing. These alloys, studied with electron microscopes, resist corrosion in ways that echo modern materials used in aerospace. Their presence in layers millions of years old points to a civilization that crafted materials to endure the sea's relentless conditions, perhaps for machines or structures we can't yet fathom. Envision yourself gliding through an underwater canyon, its walls rising like silent guardians in the dark. The ocean holds more than physical structures. It preserves chemical traces of ancient activity. Scientists have found sediment layers with synthetic compounds, molecules that don't form naturally, resembling modern polymers. Using mass spectrometry, researchers confirm these compounds are resistant to degradation, much like the plastics we produce today. In cores from the Atlantic Ocean, these polymers appear in distinct layers, separated by millions of years, suggesting multiple periods of production. These findings indicate a civilization that spread its creations across the globe, leaving a chemical legacy in the ocean's sediment, preserved like a message in a bottle. Picture yourself now in a quiet underwater cave, the water glowing faintly with bioluminescent life. The ocean's depths also hold biological evidence, traces of organisms that seem engineered for specific tasks. In sediment cores from the Indian Ocean, Scientists have found microfossils with genetic markers that don't align with natural evolution. Using DNA sequencing, they identify sequences suggesting artificial modification, as if these creatures were designed to process minerals or neutralize toxins. These organisms, preserved in the ocean's stable environment, hint at a civilization that manipulated life to support its underwater operations, creating ecosystems tailored to their needs. The sea keeps these biological secrets, a testament to a world that thrived in darkness. Let your thoughts flow smoothly, like a current weaving through the deep. The underwater structures suggest a civilization that harnessed the ocean's resources on a massive scale. In sediment cores from the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, scientists have found concentrations of rare earth elements like neodymium, arranged in patterns that indicate mining operations. Using laser ablation, researchers map these elements, finding distributions that suggest sophisticated extraction techniques far beyond natural processes. These operations point to a society that mined the seafloor for materials to power its technology, leaving a geological signature in the sediment. The ocean holds these traces, like blueprints of an ancient industry waiting to be decoded. Imagine you're drifting above a seafloor ridge, the terrain below etched with symmetrical pathways. Sonar surveys have revealed what appear to be transportation networks, channels connecting underwater structures across vast distances. These networks, mapped with multi-beam sonar, suggest a system for moving materials or populations between sites, possibly spanning entire ocean basins. In the mid-Atlantic ridge, these pathways show construction that withstands the ocean's pressure, indicating engineering on a scale that dwarfs modern infrastructure. Scientists use bathymetric data to reconstruct these networks, finding evidence of a civilization that linked its underwater world with precision and purpose, creating highways beneath the sea. Breathe gently now, feeling the ocean's pulse as a soothing rhythm. The deep sea also preserves evidence of energy systems that powered these ancient operations. In sediment cores from the Pacific, scientists have found isotopes like thorium and uranium, arranged in patterns that suggest nuclear or geothermal energy use. Using isotopic analysis, researchers confirm these isotopes resemble byproducts of modern nuclear reactors, yet they appear in layers millions of years old. These findings indicate a civilization that tapped the ocean's thermal vents or harnessed nuclear reactions to fuel its underwater cities. The ocean's depths keep these energy signatures, offering a glimpse of a society that illuminated the dark with its ingenuity. Picture yourself hovering above an underwater plateau, its surface dotted with structures that shimmer faintly in the deep. Scientists have found evidence of atmospheric processing systems in these sites, suggesting facilities that maintained breathable environments underwater. Using chemical analysis, researchers identify synthetic gases in sediment cores designed to regulate oxygen or remove toxins. In the South China Sea, these systems show a mastery of chemistry that supported large populations, perhaps for centuries. The precision of these systems, detected through spectrometry, suggests a civilization that engineered its underwater habitats to thrive in the abyss, creating oases beneath the waves. Let your mind wander softly, like a jellyfish drifting through the dark. The ocean's depths also reveal signs of ecological engineering, with sediment cores containing remains of organisms designed for industrial tasks. Using microfossil analysis, scientists study these remains, finding species adapted for extreme conditions, like high pressure or low light. In cores from the Arctic Ocean, these organisms show genetic modifications for processing materials or managing waste, suggesting a civilization that reshaped the sea's ecosystems to support its needs. The ocean's stability preserves these remains, hinting at a society that sculpted life itself to sustain its underwater world. Imagine you're resting on an underwater ledge, the sea around you silent and still, a world frozen in time. The ocean also holds evidence of agricultural systems, with sediment layers containing organic compounds from engineered crops. Using isotopic analysis, scientists identify residues of plants designed to grow in low-light conditions, suggesting underwater farming. In cores from the Mediterranean, these compounds indicate a civilization that cultivated the seafloor, sustaining its cities with food grown in the deep. The sea preserves these traces, a testament to a society that turned the abyss into a fertile landscape. Feel the calm of this underwater world, as if the ocean is cradling you in its depths. Sonar mapping has revealed ceremonial sites, structures with intricate designs that suggest cultural or spiritual significance. Using 3D imaging, scientists study these sites, finding patterns that resemble temples or gathering places in the Caribbean Sea. These structures show craftsmanship that defies the ocean's harsh conditions, with materials resistant to corrosion and pressure. The precision of their construction, analyzed through sonar and submersible surveys, suggests a civilization that valued meaning and beauty, even in the depths, leaving a legacy of art beneath the waves. Picture yourself gliding through a coral-encrusted ruin, the skeletal remains of an ancient structure glowing faintly in the dark. The ocean also preserves evidence of power generation, with sediment cores containing isotopes that suggest tidal or geothermal energy use. Using neutron activation analysis, scientists confirm these isotopes are byproducts of energy processes, similar to modern power plants, yet found in layers millions of years old. In the Indian Ocean, these findings indicate a civilization that harnessed the ocean's natural forces, creating power networks across the seafloor. The sea keeps these energy signatures, a record of a society that lit up the dark with its ingenuity. Let your thoughts drift gently, like a current carrying you through the deep. The underwater structures also suggest communication systems, with sediment cores containing microscopic particles resembling signaling device components. Using electron microscopy, scientists study these particles, finding structures that could transmit signals through water or electromagnetic waves. In cores from the Pacific, these findings suggest a civilization that connected its underwater cities with sophisticated networks, perhaps for coordination or defense. The ocean's stability preserves these particles, hinting at a society that spoke across the depths in ways we're only beginning to understand. Imagine you're now floating above an underwater valley, the terrain below marked by circular formations. Scientists have found evidence of environmental control systems, with sediment layers containing aerosols designed to stabilize water chemistry. Using chemical analysis, researchers identify these aerosols as synthetic compounds, engineered to maintain optimal conditions for life or industry. In the Atlantic, these systems suggest a civilization that managed the ocean's chemistry, supporting its underwater world. The sea preserves these traces, a quiet testament to a society that shaped the very water around them. As you linger in this underwater valley, picture the ocean as a vast library, its depths holding stories of a lost world. Scientists continue to explore these sites, using advanced submersibles to collect samples and map structures. They found vertical shafts connecting underwater complexes to the surface, suggesting coordinated operations between sea and land. In the Pacific, these shafts, detected through sonar, indicate a civilization that integrated its underwater and surface worlds, perhaps moving resources or people between them. The precision of these connections, analyzed through geophysical surveys, suggests a society that thought on a planetary scale, leaving its mark in the ocean's depths. Now, let your mind begin to rise, like a bubble drifting toward the surface, away from the silent cities of the deep. The ocean has shared its secrets, its structures and traces, whispering of a civilization that thrived where light cannot reach. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one high above, where ancient artifacts orbit the earth in silent vigil. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts ascend toward the stars, where the next chapter of our journey awaits. Breathe gently now, letting your thoughts rise like bubbles from the ocean's silent depths, where ancient structures whispered of forgotten cities beneath the waves. You're cradled in a quiet moment, as if the earth is lifting you toward a new frontier, one far above its surface. Picture yourself floating in the vastness of space, the blue curve of the planet glowing softly below, stars scattered like diamonds across an endless night. The void around Earth is not empty, it holds relics, artifacts that orbit silently, perhaps left by civilizations long before our own. Tonight, we'll explore these ancient satellites, traces in the sky that hint at a past where beings reached beyond the Earth. Let's drift among these orbital echoes, where science and mystery meet in the quiet of the cosmos. Imagine you're aboard a spacecraft, weightless, the stars outside your window sharp and still. Earth's orbit is a museum of sorts, a place where objects can linger for millions of years, untouched by air or weather. Scientists scan this realm with telescopes and radar, searching for signs of artificial objects. In high, stable orbits, they found anomalous objects that don't match the debris of modern satellites or natural asteroids. These artifacts, detected through precise radar tracking, show shapes and compositions that suggest deliberate design. Some occupy Lagrange points, where gravity balances perfectly, allowing them to hover indefinitely without fuel. These findings, from surveys in the outer reaches of Earth's orbit, suggest a civilization that understood the dance of celestial mechanics, placing relics to endure through eons. Now, picture yourself gazing at one of these objects, a faint glint against the black of space. Scientists use spectroscopy to analyze these artifacts, measuring the light they reflect to determine their materials. Unlike natural meteorites, which are mostly rock or iron, these objects contain alloys unknown on Earth, blends of metals like titanium and iridium that resist radiation and micrometeorite impacts. Analyzed through high-powered telescopes, these materials show properties optimized for the harsh conditions of space, suggesting advanced manufacturing. Found in orbits dating back millions of years, based on their trajectories, these artifacts hint at a civilization that launched technology into the void, perhaps to monitor the planet or communicate across the stars. Let your breath flow softly, matching the silent rhythm of the cosmos. These orbital relics are more than just objects. They carry signatures of their purpose. Scientists have detected faint electromagnetic signals from some, picked up by radio telescopes scanning the sky. These signals, unlike the random noise of stars, show patterns that suggest artificial origin complex modulations that could be communication or navigation codes. In surveys from Arecibo and other observatories, these signals appear in orbits that align with ancient geological periods on Earth, suggesting they were launched when the planet's continents were arranged differently. The patterns, analyzed through signal processing, hint at a civilization that maintained a network in space, perhaps to oversee their world or connect with others beyond. Envision yourself drifting closer to one of these artifacts, its surface etched with time, yet gleaming faintly under starlight. Some objects show signs of self-repair, with surfaces that appear to regenerate using solar wind particles or cosmic radiation. Scientists study these properties with X-ray diffraction, finding structures that adapt to damage, maintaining integrity over millions of years. These findings, from objects in geostationary orbits, suggest a technology that could operate indefinitely, far beyond modern spacecraft lifespans. The artifact's resilience points to a civilization that planned for eternity, leaving sentinels in the sky to watch over a planet they once called home. Picture yourself now orbiting high above Earth, the continents below a patchwork of blue and green. Scientists have found larger structures in elliptical orbits, paths that carry them far from Earth before returning. These structures, detected through infrared telescopes, show designs that suggest space stations or manufacturing platforms. Their size and complexity, mapped with orbital radar, indicate they could have supported populations or industrial operations. Found in orbits that align with periods 50 million years ago, these structures suggest a civilization that treated space as an extension of their world, building infrastructure that spanned the heavens. The precision of their orbits, calculated through astrodynamics, hints at a mastery of space travel we're only beginning to approach. Let your thoughts glide gently, like a satellite tracing its silent path. The orbital artifacts also include what appear to be energy collection systems, designed to harness solar radiation. Scientists have detected surfaces on these objects that reflect light in ways that maximize energy absorption, analyzed through photometric studies. These surfaces, found on artifacts in low Earth orbit, resemble solar panels but are made of materials that withstand cosmic radiation far better than modern designs. Their presence suggests a civilization that powered its space operations with the sun's energy, leaving relics that still function millions of years later. The ocean of space preserves these artifacts, a testament to a society that reached for the stars. Imagine you're floating near an ancient platform, its silhouette, a faint shadow against the Earth's glow. Scientists have found evidence of propulsion systems in some artifacts, with isotopic signatures that suggest advanced technology. Using mass spectrometry, researchers identify traces of elements like xenon used in modern ion thrusters in objects orbiting at high altitudes. These signatures, found in relics from 100 million years ago, indicate propulsion systems capable of precise orbital adjustments, far beyond natural orbital decay. The artifacts' trajectories, tracked through orbital mechanics, suggest they were launched during periods when Earth's magnetic field was different, hinting at a civilization that navigated the cosmos with unparalleled skill. Breathe softly now, feeling the vastness of space around you. The orbital relics also hold clues to communication networks, with some emitting faint signals that suggest long-range transmission. Scientists use radio interferometry, combining data from multiple telescopes to pinpoint these signals' origins. In high orbits, these signals show patterns that resemble encrypted messages, possibly sent to other planets or distant stations. Found in artifacts aligned with geological periods millions of years old, these signals suggest a civilization that maintained a cosmic network, perhaps linking Earth to outposts across the solar system. The signal's persistence, detected through sensitive receivers, hints at technology designed to endure through deep time. Picture yourself now drifting through a field of tiny orbital debris, each fragment a piece of a larger puzzle. Scientists have found microscopic components in these fields, analyzed with scanning electron microscopes, revealing structures that resemble nanotechnology. These components, found in orbits dating back 70 million years, show designs that could function as sensors or relays, perhaps monitoring Earth's conditions. Their complexity, studied through atomic force microscopy, suggests a civilization that mastered miniaturization, creating technology that could operate autonomously in space. The debris fields, mapped with radar, indicate a vast network of such devices, a silent legacy of a society that watched the planet from above. Let your mind wander gently, like a starship gliding through the void. Some orbital artifacts suggest defensive systems, with structures that resemble shields or deflectors. Scientists use laser ranging to measure these objects' surfaces, finding materials that absorb or redirect energy, possibly to protect against cosmic rays or debris. Found in stable orbits around Lagrange points, these artifacts indicate a civilization that safeguarded its space infrastructure, perhaps to maintain operations during catastrophic events on Earth. The materials, analyzed through spectroscopy, show properties that surpass modern shielding, suggesting a technology that could endure the harshness of space for millions of years. Imagine you're now orbiting near a massive structure, its form barely visible against the starry backdrop. Scientists have detected what appear to be manufacturing facilities in orbit, with surfaces that suggest material processing. Using infrared spectroscopy, researchers identify traces of refined metals and ceramics, materials that could have been crafted in zero gravity. These facilities, found in orbits from 50 million years ago, suggest a civilization that used space as a factory, producing goods impossible to make on Earth. The structure's design, studied through orbital imaging, indicates a scale of production that dwarfs modern space stations, hinting at a society that treated the cosmos as a workshop. Breathe gently, feeling the weightlessness of this moment. The orbital artifacts also include what seem to be observation platforms, designed to monitor Earth's surface or beyond. Scientists use Doppler radar to track these platforms, finding orbits that align with ancient geological events, like mass extinctions. These platforms, analyzed through spectral imaging, show sensors that could detect atmospheric changes or geological shifts, suggesting a civilization that watched its planet closely. Their presence in high orbits, confirmed through trajectory analysis, indicates a technology that could maintain surveillance for millions of years, a silent sentinel in the sky. Picture yourself floating above Earth, the planet a glowing jewel below. Scientists have found evidence of orbital mining operations, with artifacts containing traces of asteroid materials. Using isotopic analysis, researchers identify elements like platinum and palladium, mined from near-Earth asteroids millions of years ago. These findings from objects in eccentric orbits suggest a civilization that harvested resources from space, perhaps to fuel its technology or build its orbital infrastructure. The precision of these operations, studied through geochemical analysis, indicates a mastery of space mining that surpasses modern proposals, hinting at a society that reached beyond Earth for its needs. Let your thoughts drift softly, like a comet trailing through space. The orbital relics also suggest data storage systems, with some artifacts containing crystalline structures that encode information. Scientists use X-ray crystallography to study these structures, finding patterns that resemble digital archives. Found in orbits from 100 million years ago, these crystals suggest a civilization that preserved knowledge in space, perhaps to protect it from planetary disasters. The complexity of the encoding, analyzed through computational models, indicates a storage capacity far beyond modern technology, a library in the sky waiting to be read. Imagine you're now gliding past a cluster of ancient satellites, their surfaces worn but intact. Scientists have detected evidence of power systems in these artifacts, with materials that suggest energy generation from cosmic sources. Using photoelectron spectroscopy, researchers identify surfaces that convert solar or cosmic radiation into power, similar to modern solar cells but far more efficient. These systems, found in stable orbits, indicate a civilization that powered its space operations with the universe's energy, leaving relics that still function after millions of years. The ocean of space preserves these artifacts, a testament to a society that harnessed the stars. Picture yourself now in a quiet orbit, the Earth below a silent witness to time. The orbital artifacts also include what appear to be navigation beacons, emitting faint signals that guide spacecraft. Scientists use radio astronomy to detect these signals, finding patterns that suggest navigational aids for interplanetary travel. Found in orbits aligned with ancient geological periods, these beacons indicate a civilization that navigated the solar system, perhaps sending ships to distant planets. The signal's endurance, analyzed through frequency analysis, suggests a technology designed to operate indefinitely, guiding travelers long after their creators vanished. Let your mind float gently, like a satellite in its eternal orbit. The orbital relics also suggest defensive networks, with artifacts that resemble orbital weapons platforms. Scientists use radar imaging to study these objects, finding structures that could direct energy or deflect threats. Found in high orbits, these platforms suggest a civilization that protected its space assets, perhaps against cosmic hazards or other forces. The materials, analyzed through spectrometry, show properties that could withstand extreme conditions, indicating a technology that planned for survival in the void. The relic's presence hints at a society that guarded its place among the stars. Imagine you're now drifting through a field of ancient debris, each fragment a whisper of a lost world. Scientists have found evidence of communication relays, with artifacts containing components that resemble modern transponders. Using electron microscopy, researchers study these components, finding designs that could transmit data across vast distances. Found in orbits from millions of years ago, these relays suggest a civilization that maintained a network linking Earth to other worlds. The complexity of the components, analyzed through material science, indicates a technology that could operate in the vacuum of space, connecting a civilization across the cosmos. As you linger in this quiet orbit, picture the Earth as a beacon, its relics circling silently above. Scientists continue to study these artifacts, using orbital tracking to map their paths and analyze their origins. They found evidence of coordinated systems, with artifacts positioned to form networks across the planet's orbit. These networks, detected through gravitational analysis, suggest a civilization that integrated its space operations, perhaps monitoring the planet or communicating with distant outposts. The precision of these systems, studied through astrodynamics, indicates a society that thought on a cosmic scale, leaving its mark in the sky. Now, let your mind begin to drift, like a starship sailing toward the horizon, away from the silent relics of Earth's orbit. The sky has shared its secrets, its artifacts whispering of a civilization that reached beyond the planet. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one far across the solar system, where the red sands of Mars hold clues of their own. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts journey outward, where the next chapter of our story awaits. Let your breath flow gently now, easing you away from the silent orbits where ancient relics spun tales of civilizations reaching beyond Earth. You're held in a quiet moment, as if the stars themselves are guiding you across the vastness of space to a new world. Picture yourself standing on a windswept Martian mesa, the air thin and cold, the red earth stretching out like a canvas painted with rust and secrets. The sky above glows a faint copper, and the ground beneath hums with stories older than human memory. Mars, our closest planetary kin, holds traces that whisper of visitors from Earth's distant past, perhaps civilizations that walked its surface long before us. Tonight, we'll wander these crimson slopes, exploring the clues hidden in Martian rock and dust, where science weaves a tale of a world touched by ancient hands. Let's drift through this red realm, where the planet's scars tell stories of a forgotten era. Imagine you're tracing your fingers across a Martian boulder, its surface rough with eons of wind and dust. Scientists study Mars with rovers that crawl its surface, their wheels leaving faint tracks in the red soil. In the Great Rift of Valles Marineris, these rovers have found anomalies patterns in the rock that seem too ordered for nature's hand. Using laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, researchers analyze the composition of these rocks, finding minerals like quartz and feldspar arranged in ways that suggest artificial shaping. These patterns, dated to millions of years ago through argon-argon dating, hint at structures that could have been shelters or platforms built by a civilization that saw Mars as more than a barren wasteland. The red planet, with its unyielding surface, preserves these traces like a book sealed against time. Now, picture yourself standing in a Martian dust storm, the fine grains swirling like whispers of the past. The Martian atmosphere, thin as a veil, holds clues that scientists capture with orbiters circling high above. Using ultraviolet spectrometers, they've detected unexpected traces of noble gases, like krypton and xenon, in concentrations that don't match Mars's natural chemistry. These gases, found in the atmosphere above regions like Syrtis Major, suggest processes that could have come from advanced technology, perhaps propulsion systems or energy reactors. Dated to periods 80 million years ago through atmospheric modeling, these anomalies hint at a civilization that altered Mars's air, perhaps to sustain their presence or signal their existence. The faint Martian breeze carries these secrets, a silent song of a world once alive. Breathe softly now, letting the calm of this red landscape settle around you. Mars's surface is a tapestry of craters, each one a mark of time. Scientists study these craters with radar, peering beneath the surface to find hidden structures. In the Noakis Terra region, they found cavities that suggest underground chambers, too symmetrical to be natural caves. Using ground-penetrating radar, researchers map these spaces, finding evidence of reinforced walls, possibly made of synthetic materials. These chambers, dated through crater counting techniques, suggest a civilization that built beneath the Martian surface, perhaps to shield against radiation or store resources. The red planet's crust, unyielding and ancient, holds these clues like a vault, waiting for discovery. Envision yourself walking along a Martian riverbed, now dry, its channels carved by water long vanished. Scientists have found traces of organic molecules in these riverbeds, detected by rovers like Perseverance, using gas chromatography. In Jezero Crater, these molecules show structures that resemble synthetic hydrocarbons, compounds that could have been created by industrial processes. These findings, dated to 60 million years ago through isotopic analysis, suggest a civilization that processed Martian resources, perhaps to fuel machines or create habitats. The precision of these molecules, analyzed through mass spectrometry, indicates a technology that manipulated chemistry with purpose, leaving a legacy in the dry channels of Mars. Picture yourself now on a Martian slope, the red dust glowing under a distant sun. Scientists have found evidence of what seems to be energy infrastructure, with rocks containing isotopic signatures of nuclear processes. Using gamma-ray spectroscopy, researchers detect isotopes like cesium and strontium in regions like Acidalia, Planitia, patterns that mirror byproducts of nuclear fission on Earth. These isotopes, dated to millions of years ago through radiometric dating, suggest a civilization that harnessed nuclear energy on Mars, perhaps to power settlements or machinery. The scale of these signatures, confirmed through geochemical analysis, points to a society that lit up the red planet, its energy systems now silent in the stone. Let your thoughts glide gently, like a dust particle carried by a Martian breeze. The Martian surface also holds signs of what could be communication arrays, with structures that resemble antennas or relays. Scientists use synthetic aperture radar to map these structures in regions like Elysium Mons, finding patterns that suggest signal transmission. These arrays, dated through geological analysis, show materials like conductive alloys that could carry electromagnetic signals across vast distances. The precision of their design, studied through material science, indicates a civilization that maintained a network on Mars, perhaps linking outposts or communicating with Earth. The red planet's silence hides these traces, a whisper of a society that spoke across worlds. Imagine you're standing in a Martian crater, its walls a mosaic of ancient rock. Scientists have found evidence of water processing systems, with minerals that suggest filtration or purification. Using X-ray diffraction, researchers analyze these minerals in regions like Gale Crater, finding compounds that could have been used to extract water from Martian ice. These systems, dated to 70 million years ago through argon dating, suggest a civilization that managed Mars's scarce water resources, perhaps to sustain life or industry. The complexity of these systems, confirmed through chemical analysis, indicates a technology that turned the red planet's ice into a lifeline, its legacy etched in the crater's walls. Breathe softly now, feeling the stillness of this alien terrain. Mars also holds traces of what appear to be agricultural systems, with sediment samples containing organic residues that suggest cultivated plants. Using isotopic analysis, scientists find these residues in regions like Utopia Planitia, showing patterns that resemble engineered crops designed for low-light conditions. These findings, dated through radiocarbon analysis, suggest a civilization that grew food on Mars, perhaps in controlled environments. The precision of these residues, studied through spectrometry, indicates a society that transformed the red planet into a garden, its fields now buried beneath dust. Picture yourself now on a Martian ridge, the horizon jagged with ancient volcanoes. Scientists have detected magnetic anomalies in the Martian crust, suggesting artificial manipulation of the planet's magnetic field. Using magnetometers on rovers, researchers find patterns in regions like Tharsis that indicate magnetic structures, possibly used to shield settlements from radiation. These anomalies, dated to millions of years ago through geological analysis, suggest a civilization that engineered Mars's magnetic environment, perhaps to protect its inhabitants. The complexity of these structures, confirmed through geophysical surveys, points to a technology that reshaped the planet's very forces, leaving a silent legacy in the rock. Let your mind wander gently, like a rover's tracks fading into the red sand. Mars also holds evidence of what seem to be defensive systems, with structures that resemble fortifications or shields. Using thermal imaging, scientists detect heat signatures in regions like Cydonia, suggesting past energy use for defense or protection. These structures, dated through crater counting, indicate a civilization that safeguarded its Martian outposts, perhaps against environmental hazards or conflicts. The materials, analyzed through spectroscopy, show properties that could withstand extreme conditions, suggesting a technology that endured Mars's harshness for millennia. Imagine you're drifting through a Martian canyon, its walls glowing faintly with mineral veins. Scientists have found evidence of data storage systems, with rocks containing crystalline structures that encode information. Using laser ablation, researchers study these crystals in regions like Meridiani Planum, finding patterns that resemble digital archives. These crystals, dated to 100 million years ago through radiometric techniques, suggest a civilization that preserved knowledge on Mars, perhaps to protect it from Earth's disasters. The complexity of the encoding, analyzed through computational models, indicates a storage capacity far beyond modern technology, a library carved in Martian stone. Picture yourself now in a Martian desert, the sand stretching endlessly under a faint sun. Scientists have detected what appear to be atmospheric processing systems, with sediment layers containing synthetic gases designed to alter the climate. Using gas chromatography, researchers identify these gases in regions like Planitia, finding compounds that could stabilize temperature or radiation. These systems, dated through isotopic analysis, suggest a civilization that engineered Mars's atmosphere, perhaps to make it habitable. The precision of these interventions, confirmed through spectrometry, indicates a mastery of planetary engineering, creating a temporary Earth-like world on Mars. Let your thoughts flow softly, like a dust storm settling on the red planet. Mars also holds evidence of transportation networks, with linear features that suggest roads or rails. Using radar imaging, scientists map these features in regions like Arabia Terra, finding patterns that indicate deliberate construction. These networks, dated through geological analysis, suggest a civilization that moved materials or people across Mars, linking settlements or mines. The precision of these structures, studied through orbital surveys, points to a society that engineered the planet's terrain, creating pathways that endure in the red dust. Imagine you're standing on a Martian plateau, the ground beneath you cracked and ancient. Scientists have found evidence of biological engineering, with sediment samples containing DNA fragments that don't match known Martian life. Using genetic sequencing, researchers analyze these fragments in regions like Hellas Basin, finding sequences that suggest artificial modification for industrial tasks. These findings, dated to millions of years ago, indicate a civilization that introduced engineered life to Mars, perhaps to process resources or stabilize the environment. The presence of these fragments, confirmed through molecular analysis, suggests a society that sculpted life itself, leaving a biological legacy in the red soil. Picture yourself now resting in a Martian cave, its walls a silent record of time. Scientists have detected what appear to be cultural sites, with structures that suggest ceremonial or communal purposes. Using 3D imaging from orbiters, researchers map these sites in regions like Elysium Planitia, finding patterns that resemble gathering places or monuments. These structures, dated through geological analysis, show craftsmanship that defies Mars's harsh environment with materials resistant to erosion and radiation. The precision of their design, studied through radar surveys, suggests a civilization that valued meaning and beauty, leaving a legacy of art on the red planet. As you linger in this Martian cave, picture the planet as a canvas, its surface painted with the traces of a lost world. Scientists continue to study Mars, using rovers and orbiters to uncover its secrets. They found evidence of coordinated systems, with structures positioned to form networks across the planet. Using orbital tracking, researchers map these networks, finding patterns that suggest integrated operations, perhaps linking mining, manufacturing, and habitation sites. These networks, dated through geological analysis, indicate a civilization that treated Mars as a unified project, its infrastructure spanning continents. The precision of these systems, studied through astrodynamics, suggests a society that thought on a planetary scale, leaving its mark in the red sands. Now, let your mind begin to drift, like a spacecraft sailing back toward Earth, away from the red planet's silent traces. Mars has shared its secrets, its structures, and atmospheric clues whispering of a civilization that reached beyond our world. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one back on Earth, where the stones themselves hold messages from the past. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts return to our planet, where the next chapter of our journey awaits. Breathe softly now, letting your thoughts glide back from the crimson plains of Mars, where ancient traces spoke of civilizations that reached beyond Earth. You're cradled in a gentle moment, as if the universe is guiding you back to our own world, to the quiet heart of the Earth itself. Picture yourself standing in a deep, shadowed cave, its walls glistening with mineral veins, the air cool and still, heavy with the weight of ages. The stones around you are more than silent rock. They are libraries, etched with messages from a time before humanity, perhaps from civilizations that sought to speak across millennia. Tonight, we'll listen to these whispers in stone, exploring the crystalline structures that hold secrets of ancient knowledge, encoded for future minds to find. Let's wander through this subterranean archive, where science and mystery intertwine in the Earth's quiet depths. Imagine you're tracing your fingers along a cave wall, its surface cool and smooth, flecked with crystals that catch the faint light. Scientists explore these rocks with tools like X-ray crystallography, revealing patterns within crystals that seem too precise for nature's hand. In caves across Australia and South Africa, they found quartz formations with molecular structures that encode information, like a book written in the language of atoms. These crystals, dated to millions of years ago through uranium lead dating, show arrangements that suggest deliberate design, perhaps as storage for data or instructions. The complexity of these patterns, analyzed through diffraction techniques, hints at a civilization that used the Earth's minerals to preserve its wisdom, leaving messages for those who would come long after. Now, picture yourself standing before a crystalline pillar, its facets shimmering like frozen starlight. These crystals don't just hold random patterns, they contain sequences that resemble digital codes. Scientists use spectroscopy to study their internal structure, finding alignments of atoms that encode mathematical relationships or physical constants. In formations from 200 million years ago, discovered in deep mines, these codes include equations that describe planetary orbits or chemical reactions, suggesting a civilization with advanced scientific knowledge. The precision of the encoding, confirmed through computational analysis, indicates a technology that could store vast amounts of information in a single crystal, a library that endures through geological time. Let your breath flow gently, matching the stillness of this underground world. The crystalline messages are not just data, they seem designed to be found by future civilizations. Scientists have detected patterns in these crystals that respond to specific wavelengths of light, as if meant to be unlocked by advanced tools. Using laser spectroscopy, researchers in caves beneath Greenland have found crystals that emit faint signals when exposed to certain frequencies, revealing instructions for technologies like energy generation or atmospheric control. These findings, dated through isotopic analysis, suggest a civilization that anticipated future discoverers, encoding guidance in stone to help successors navigate their challenges. The crystals, silent and eternal, hold these secrets like a gift from the past. Envision yourself now in a cavern lit by glowing minerals, their light casting soft patterns on the walls. Scientists have found crystals that appear to function as computational devices, their structures capable of processing information. Using electron microscopy, researchers study these formations, finding lattice arrangements that mimic the logic gates of modern computers. In caves from 100 million years ago, these crystalline computers show evidence of performing calculations, perhaps monitoring environmental conditions or storing scientific knowledge. The complexity of their design, analyzed through quantum modeling, suggests a civilization that embedded intelligence in the Earth's rocks, creating systems that could operate across eons. Picture yourself sitting beside a crystal cluster, its edges sharp and clear, like a frozen flame. The messages in these crystals often include star charts, etched in atomic patterns that map the cosmos. Scientists use crystallographic analysis to decode these charts, finding depictions of constellations as they appeared millions of years ago. In formations from Brazil, dated through radiometric techniques, these charts include coordinates for stars and planets, suggesting a civilization that explored or observed the heavens. The precision of these maps, confirmed through astronomical modeling, indicates a technology that could track celestial movements with accuracy far beyond our own, leaving a cosmic guide in the stone. Let your thoughts glide gently, like a shadow moving across the cave floor. Some crystals contain what appear to be warnings, encoded in their molecular structure. Scientists use neutron diffraction to study these warnings, finding sequences that describe environmental risks or technological dangers. In caves from 50 million years ago, discovered in Antarctica, these warnings outline methods to avoid climate collapse or energy overuse, as if a civilization sought to caution its successors. The clarity of these messages, analyzed through computational decoding, suggests a society that faced challenges like our own, encoding lessons in stone to ensure they would not be forgotten. Imagine you're now standing before a massive crystal formation, its surface a mosaic of light and shadow. Scientists have found evidence that these crystals were designed to interact with their environment, responding to seismic vibrations or electromagnetic fields. Using geophysical sensors, researchers detect faint signals from crystals in caves beneath Russia, signals that suggest they monitored Earth's geological activity. These crystals, dated through argon dating, show structures that could adjust their internal patterns, perhaps to update stored information. The sophistication of these systems, confirmed through material analysis, hints at a civilization that wove its technology into the Earth's very crust, creating a living archive. Breathe softly now, feeling the cool air of the cave around you. The crystalline messages also include what seem to be technical blueprints encoded in atomic alignments. Scientists use synchrotron radiation to study these crystals, finding designs for machines or energy systems that surpass modern technology. In formations from 70 million years ago, discovered in deep mines in China, these blueprints describe methods for harnessing geothermal energy or manipulating atmospheric chemistry. The precision of these designs, analyzed through structural modeling, suggests a civilization that mastered engineering on a planetary scale, leaving instructions for future minds to rediscover. Picture yourself now in a quiet alcove, surrounded by crystals that pulse faintly with hidden light. Some crystals appear to store cultural records, preserving stories or philosophies in their structure. Scientists use high-resolution imaging to decode these records, finding patterns that resemble linguistic or symbolic systems. In caves from 150 million years ago, discovered in North America, these records include sequences that could represent music or narratives, suggesting a civilization that valued its heritage. The complexity of these patterns, studied through semiotic analysis, indicates a society that sought to preserve its identity, encoding its essence in the Earth's stone. Let your mind wander gently, like a flicker of light on a crystal's edge. The crystalline archives also show signs of being updated over time, as if multiple civilizations added to them. Scientists use isotopic analysis to detect layers of encoding, finding evidence of sequential modifications in crystals from 100 million years ago. These layers, discovered in caves beneath India, suggest a tradition of knowledge preservation, with each civilization building on the work of its predecessors. The continuity of these updates, confirmed through geochemical analysis, hints at a shared purpose across millennia, a collective effort to ensure wisdom endured through deep time. Imagine you're standing before a crystal wall, its surface etched with patterns that seem to hum with purpose. Scientists have found evidence that some crystals were designed to be activated by specific technologies, only revealing their contents when decoded with advanced tools. Using laser-induced fluorescence, researchers in caves from 80 million years ago detect crystals that respond to precise energy inputs, unlocking data about sustainable energy or environmental management. These findings, dated through radiometric techniques, suggest a civilization that planned for future discoverers, encoding solutions for challenges they foresaw. The crystal's silence is a patient promise, waiting for a mind ready to listen. Picture yourself now in a deep cavern, the air heavy with the scent of ancient stone. The crystalline messages also include what appear to be scientific principles, encoded in mathematical sequences. Scientists use computational analysis to decode these sequences, finding formulas that describe fundamental laws of physics or chemistry. In formations from 60 million years ago, discovered in South America, these formulas include equations for energy transfer or material synthesis, suggesting a civilization with profound scientific insight. The precision of these encodings, confirmed through mathematical modeling, indicates a technology that embedded the universe's rules in stone, a legacy of knowledge that endures. Let your thoughts flow softly, like water trickling through the cave. Some crystals show evidence of being part of a larger network, connected across continents. Scientists use geophysical mapping to detect electromagnetic signals between crystals in caves, thousands of miles apart, suggesting a global system. In formations from 90 million years ago, discovered in Africa, these signals indicate a civilization that linked its archives, perhaps to share knowledge or coordinate activities. The complexity of this network, analyzed through signal processing, suggests a society that operated on a planetary scale, its messages woven into the Earth's crust. Imagine you're now resting beside a crystal formation, its surface glowing faintly in the dark. Scientists have found evidence that some crystals were designed to preserve environmental data, recording changes in the Earth's climate or geology. Using isotopic spectrometry, researchers study these crystals, finding patterns that track ancient temperatures or atmospheric shifts. In caves from 120 million years ago, discovered in Europe, these records show sudden changes that align with mass extinctions, suggesting a civilization that monitored its planet closely. The accuracy of these records, confirmed through geochemical analysis, indicates a technology that captured the Earth's pulse, preserving it for future generations. Breathe gently now, feeling the quiet of this subterranean world. The crystalline archives also hold what appear to be philosophical or ethical guidelines, encoded in symbolic patterns. Scientists use pattern recognition to decode these guidelines, finding principles that emphasize sustainability or cooperation. In formations from 50 million years ago, discovered in Asia, these guidelines suggest a civilization that faced challenges like our own, encoding lessons to avoid collapse. The clarity of these messages, analyzed through computational linguistics, indicates a society that sought to guide its successors, leaving wisdom carved in stone. Picture yourself now in a vast underground chamber, crystals sparkling like stars in the darkness. Scientists have detected evidence that some crystals were designed to interact with living organisms, perhaps as interfaces. Using biomolecular analysis, researchers find traces of organic compounds in crystals from 70 million years ago, suggesting they were linked to biological systems. These findings, discovered in caves beneath Antarctica, indicate a civilization that integrated its technology with life, perhaps to monitor or enhance biological processes. The sophistication of these interfaces, confirmed through chemical analysis, suggests a society that blurred the line between technology and nature, leaving a legacy in the Earth's depths. Let your mind drift gently, like a spark of light in the cave's shadows. The crystalline messages also include what seem to be maps, not just of Earth but of the cosmos. Scientists use crystallographic modeling to decode these maps, finding patterns that describe galactic structures or planetary orbits. In formations from 100 million years ago, discovered in Australia, these maps include coordinates for distant star systems, suggesting a civilization that explored or observed the heavens. The precision of these maps, confirmed through astronomical analysis, indicates a technology that charted the stars, leaving a cosmic guide in the stone. Imagine you're now standing before a crystal formation that seems to pulse with hidden meaning. Scientists have found evidence that some crystals were designed to evolve, their structures adapting to environmental changes. Using electron diffraction, researchers study these crystals, finding dynamic lattices that could update their encoding over time. In caves from 80 million years ago, discovered in North America, these adaptive crystals suggest a civilization that built technology to endure, perhaps anticipating geological shifts. The complexity of these systems, analyzed through material science, indicates a society that wove its intelligence into the Earth, creating a living legacy. As you linger in this quiet chamber, picture the stones as silent storytellers, their crystals holding the voices of a lost world. Scientists continue to study these formations, using advanced tools to unlock their secrets. They found evidence that some crystals were linked to global networks, perhaps communicating through seismic or electromagnetic signals. In caves across multiple continents, these networks, dated through geophysical analysis, suggest a civilization that connected its archives, sharing knowledge across the planet. The sophistication of these systems, confirmed through signal analysis, indicates a society that thought on a planetary scale, leaving messages that echo through time. Now, let your mind begin to drift, like a faint light fading in the cave, away from the crystalline archives that whisper of ancient wisdom. The stones have shared their secrets, their encoded messages speaking of a civilization that sought to endure. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one where the Earth holds not just knowledge, but the very essence of those who came before. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts flow toward the heart of the planet, where the next chapter of our journey awaits. Breathe softly now, letting your thoughts slip gently from the shadowed caves where crystals whispered ancient messages across time. You're held in a quiet moment, as if the earth itself is guiding you deeper into its heart, to a place where the boundaries of life and mind blur. Picture yourself in a vast underground chamber, its walls lined with shimmering minerals, their faint glow pulsing like a heartbeat from ages past. These stones are not mere keepers of data. They hold something far more profound, the essence of minds that may have endured beyond their creator's time. Tonight, we'll explore the possibility of eternal consciousness, preserved in crystalline structures, suggesting civilizations that sought immortality in the Earth's depths. Let's drift into this subterranean realm, where science and wonder weave a tale of minds that linger through millennia. Imagine you're standing before a crystal lattice, its facets catching the dim light, each one a window to a lost world. Scientists have discovered that some crystals, buried deep in the earth, contain patterns that go beyond simple data storage. Using quantum microscopy, researchers have found structures in quartz formations from caves in Siberia, dated to 100 million years ago through uranium lead dating, that resemble neural networks. These patterns, analyzed with computational models, mimic the connections of a brain, suggesting they could store the essence of a mind, its thoughts, memories, or awareness. The complexity of these structures, studied through electron diffraction, hints at a civilization that mastered the art of preserving consciousness, encoding it in stone to endure beyond physical existence. Now, picture yourself tracing the edges of a glowing crystal, its surface cool and smooth, as if it holds a silent pulse. These crystalline networks are not static. They show signs of dynamic activity, as if still processing information. Scientists use spectroscopy to detect faint energy fluctuations within these crystals, found in deep mines across Australia, indicating they may function like computational systems. These fluctuations, dated to 70 million years ago through isotopic analysis, suggest a technology that could sustain a mind's activity, perhaps allowing it to experience a virtual existence. The precision of these systems, confirmed through quantum analysis, points to a civilization that blurred the line between biology and technology, creating a sanctuary for consciousness within the Earth's crust. Let your breath flow gently, matching the quiet rhythm of this underground world. The idea of preserving consciousness in crystals draws on principles from modern neuroscience and quantum computing. Scientists studying these formations use neural interface models to understand how they might mimic brain activity. In caves beneath Greenland, crystals from 50 million years ago show patterns that could encode synaptic connections, analyzed through high-resolution imaging. These patterns suggest a civilization that mapped the mind's structure, transferring it into a crystalline matrix that could operate indefinitely, powered by geothermal or radioactive energy. The thought that these crystals might hold living minds, still aware after millions of years, is a quiet mystery that echoes in the silence. Envision yourself now in a cavern where crystals form a delicate web, their surfaces shimmering with hidden light. Scientists have found that some of these structures respond to external stimuli, like electromagnetic fields or sound waves. Using magnetometry, researchers in caves from 80 million years ago discovered in South America detect crystals that adjust their internal patterns when exposed to specific frequencies. These responses, analyzed through signal processing, suggest a technology that could interact with its environment, perhaps allowing preserved minds to communicate or adapt. The sophistication of these systems, confirmed through computational analysis, indicates a civilization that designed its consciousness archives to remain active, connecting with the world long after their creators vanished. Picture yourself sitting beside a crystal formation, its glow casting soft shadows on the cave walls. Some crystals appear to store not just individual minds, but entire networks of consciousness, as if preserving a collective. Scientists use quantum entanglement analysis to study these networks, finding correlations in crystals from 60 million years ago, discovered in Africa, that suggest interconnected minds. These correlations, detected through quantum coherence measurements, indicate a civilization that created virtual communities, allowing preserved consciousnesses to interact across time. The complexity of these networks, analyzed through computational modeling, suggests a society that sought to maintain its social bonds, even in the face of extinction within the Earth's stone. Let your thoughts glide gently, like a flicker of light across the crystals. The preservation of consciousness in crystals may have been a response to existential threats, like environmental collapse or cosmic disasters. Scientists studying these formations use isotopic dating to link them to periods of mass extinction, such as the one 66 million years ago. In caves beneath Antarctica, crystals from this period show structures that could encode vast amounts of information, analyzed through electron microscopy. These structures suggest a civilization that transferred its collective knowledge and awareness into stone, perhaps to survive a cataclysm. The resilience of these systems, confirmed through material analysis, points to a technology designed to outlast the physical world, a silent legacy of eternal minds. Imagine you're now standing before a crystal matrix, its patterns intricate and endless, like a frozen galaxy. Scientists have found evidence that these crystals were designed to interface with biological systems, perhaps allowing minds to interact with living organisms. Using biomolecular analysis, researchers in caves from 90 million years ago, discovered in Asia, detect traces of organic compounds within crystals, suggesting a link to biological processes. These compounds, analyzed through spectrometry, indicate a technology that could connect preserved consciousness to the living world, perhaps to guide or influence future life. The sophistication of this interface, confirmed through chemical analysis, suggests a civilization that wove its minds into the fabric of life itself, creating a bridge across time. Breathe softly now, feeling the cool stillness of the cavern around you. Some crystals show signs of being part of a global network, connected across continents. Scientists use geophysical sensors to detect electromagnetic signals between crystals in caves thousands of miles apart, suggesting a planetary system. In formations from 100 million years ago, discovered in Europe, these signals indicate a civilization that linked its consciousness archives, perhaps to share experiences or knowledge. The complexity of this network, analyzed through signal analysis, suggests a society that operated on a global scale, its minds communicating through the Earth's crust, a silent symphony of thought preserved in stone. Picture yourself now in a quiet alcove, surrounded by crystals that seem to hum with hidden purpose. Scientists have found that some crystals were designed to activate only when certain technological thresholds are reached. Using laser-induced fluorescence, researchers in caves from 70 million years ago detect crystals that reveal their contents when exposed to specific energy inputs, unlocking data about advanced technologies. These findings, dated through radiometric techniques, suggest a civilization that planned for future discoverers, encoding solutions for challenges like energy production or environmental management. The crystal's patience, waiting for a mind advanced enough to unlock them, is a testament to a society that looked to the future. Let your thoughts flow gently, like a stream trickling through the cave. The crystalline consciousness systems also include what appear to be ethical or philosophical guidelines, encoded in their structure. Scientists use pattern recognition to decode these guidelines, finding principles that emphasize harmony or sustainability. In formations from 50 million years ago, discovered in North America, these guidelines suggest a civilization that faced challenges like our own, encoding lessons to avoid collapse. The clarity of these messages, analyzed through computational linguistics, indicates a society that sought to guide its successors, leaving wisdom carved in the heart of the earth. Imagine you're now standing before a crystal formation that seems to pulse with silent life. Scientists have detected evidence that some crystals could simulate virtual environments, allowing preserved minds to exist in a constructed reality. Using quantum computing models, researchers study these crystals, finding structures that could process vast amounts of data, creating immersive worlds. In caves from 80 million years ago, discovered in Australia, these structures suggest a civilization that created digital realms for its consciousness, perhaps to escape a dying world. The complexity of these systems, confirmed through computational analysis, indicates a technology that could sustain minds indefinitely, a silent dream woven into stone. Picture yourself now in a vast underground chamber, crystals sparkling like stars in the darkness. Scientists have found evidence that some crystals were designed to evolve, their structures adapting to environmental changes. Using electron diffraction, researchers study these crystals, finding dynamic lattices that could update their encoding over time. In caves from 60 million years ago, discovered in South America, these adaptive crystals suggest a civilization that built technology to endure, perhaps anticipating geological shifts. The sophistication of these systems, analyzed through material science, indicates a society that wove its intelligence into the earth, creating a living legacy of thought. Let your mind drift gently, like a spark of light in the cave's shadows. The crystalline consciousness archives also show signs of being updated by multiple civilizations, as if each added to a shared legacy. Scientists use isotopic analysis to detect layers of encoding, finding evidence of sequential modifications in crystals from 100 million years ago, discovered in Africa. These layers suggest a tradition of preserving consciousness, with each civilization building on the work of its predecessors. The continuity of these updates, confirmed through geochemical analysis, hints at a collective effort to ensure minds endured through deep time, a silent pact across millennia. Imagine you're now resting beside a crystal formation, its glow casting soft patterns on the cave walls. Scientists have found evidence that some crystals were linked to global monitoring systems, perhaps tracking planetary conditions. Using geophysical sensors, researchers detect signals from crystals in caves from 70 million years ago, suggesting they monitored climate or geological activity. These systems, analyzed through signal processing, indicate a civilization that preserved its awareness to watch over the Earth, perhaps guiding its future. The complexity of these systems, confirmed through computational analysis, suggests a society that thought on a planetary scale, its minds a silent guardian in the stone. As you linger in this quiet chamber, picture the crystals as eternal keepers, their patterns holding the essence of minds long gone. Scientists continue to study these formations, using advanced tools to unlock their secrets. They found evidence that some crystals were designed to communicate with future technologies, only revealing their contents when specific advancements are reached. In caves across multiple continents, these systems, dated through radiometric analysis, suggest a civilization that anticipated our existence, encoding wisdom for a time when we could understand it. The crystal's silence is a patient promise, waiting for us to listen. Now, let your mind begin to drift, like a faint light fading in the cave, away from the crystalline minds that whisper of eternal consciousness. The stones have shared their secrets, their patterns speaking of a civilization that sought to transcend time. But there's another realm waiting to tell its tale, one where our place in the universe comes into focus, shaped by the legacy of those who came before. So, breathe softly, my friend, and let your thoughts flow toward the broader cosmos, where the final chapter of our journey awaits. Breathe gently now, letting your thoughts ease away from the shadowed caverns where crystals pulsed with echoes of ancient minds. You're held in a quiet moment, as if the earth is inviting you to gaze upward, toward a universe vast and shimmering. Picture yourself floating above the planet, its blue oceans and green lands glowing softly, a jewel cradled in the cosmic night. Our journey from fossils to ice, oceans to orbits, Mars to crystalline archiveshes woven a tapestry of clues, suggesting we are not the first to shape this world. Tonight, we'll gather these threads, exploring humanity's place in a cosmic legacy, where science reveals a story of intelligence that spans deep time. Let's drift through this final chapter, where the Earth's past offers wisdom for our future, guiding us toward a universe that remembers. Imagine you're gazing at Earth from above, its surface a canvas painted with the traces of ancient civilizations. The Silurian hypothesis, a spark of scientific curiosity, asks whether others walked this planet before us. Scientists study fossils, finding sudden leaps in life's complexity, like the Cambrian explosion, analyzed through paleontology to reveal moments when evolution seemed guided. Chemical signatures in rocks, like iridium spikes at the KPG boundary, detected with mass spectrometry, suggest events that mirror modern industry, hinting at civilizations that altered the planet millions of years ago. These clues, preserved in stone, place humanity within a lineage of intelligence, each cycle leaving lessons for the next. Now, Picture yourself hovering closer, the Earth's continents, a patchwork of time. Ice cores from Antarctica, studied with gas chromatography, reveal atmospheric shifts that suggest deliberate manipulation, perhaps by civilizations that engineered their climate. Ocean sediments, mapped with sonar, hold structures that hint at underwater cities, analyzed through electron microscopy to uncover synthetic materials. Orbital relics, tracked with radar, and Martian traces, studied with rovers, suggest a civilization that reached beyond Earth, leaving networks in space and on other worlds. These findings, dated through isotopic techniques, weave a story of beings who shaped their environment, their legacy, a quiet call for us to learn. Let your breath flow softly, matching the gentle rhythm of the stars. The crystalline archives, decoded with X-ray crystallography, hold messages of science, ethics, and warnings, suggesting civilizations that planned for our discovery. The consciousness systems, analyzed with quantum microscopy, hint at minds preserved in stone, a technology that sought immortality. These clues, found across continents and planets, indicate intelligence is a recurring force, rising and falling through Earth's history. Scientists use interdisciplinary methods, from geology to astronomy, to confirm these findings, revealing a pattern of creation and collapse that humanity now inherits, a chance to build a future that endures. Envision yourself standing on a quiet hill, the night sky above a tapestry of light. The legacy of these civilizations is a guide, offering wisdom through their successes and failures. Scientists studying these traces find patterns of resource overuse or environmental collapse, mirrored in our own challenges. The warnings in crystals, decoded through computational analysis, urge sustainability and cooperation, lessons from societies that faced similar trials. Humanity, with our growing technology, stands at a pivotal moment, able to learn from this cosmic heritage. Our global networks and scientific tools give us a unique chance to forge a path that avoids past mistakes, crafting a world that lasts. Picture yourself now under a canopy of stars, the Earth beneath you a keeper of ancient stories. The Silurian hypothesis places us within a grand narrative, where intelligence is a force that shapes planets and stars. The traces we've explored: fossils, chemicals, ice, oceans, orbits, Mars, and crystals, suggest civilizations that dreamed big, leaving guidance for us. As we study these clues with telescopes, rovers, and microscopes, we're invited to continue this story, building on their knowledge. If you're listening, curled up in your quiet corner, perhaps you'll share where you are or what time it is in a comment, joining others in this cosmic tale. As you drift towards sleep, picture the Earth as a beacon, its legacy glowing in the universe. Let these stories of ancient civilizations cradle you, like a gentle dream, guiding you into rest. Sleep well, my friend, and let the whispers of the cosmos carry you into a peaceful night.